Who's this?
How are you? It's Lacie.
Hey, how you doing?
All right. I've been trying to get a hold of you
Since when?
since, well, I got out of jail on September 11th.
Oh,
I got locked
congratulations.
up. Yeah,
Yes,
I got locked up on December 19th.
of last year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
somebody told me you got in some kind of trouble in Ohio. Is that true?
Yeah, it is.
Hey, before you go any further, if you want, would you be interested in me recording this so I can upload it?
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Okay. So you got in trouble and it was in Ohio. When was that?
It was last year in December. I went out there in November, like after Thanksgiving last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, to get off the streets, I was out there selling drugs and was down there for like 2.5, 3 weeks. And the house I was at, so I got wired up on. People wore wires on me and told on me basically. And they kicked the door in at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I got caught with over 35 grams of crack and 7 grams of fentanyl, an ounce of weed, and some paraphernalia.
Oh, wow. So you're down there. You're living. Did you know people before you went down there?
No, I didn't.
So how do you just go down there, you establish some drug connections, and of course you needed money, right?
Right.
And you were still addicted yourself, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So you kind of
Mhm.
get in on this group, you're selling drugs for a while, things are going okay. How did it turn into you getting set up like that? Describe that to me, and if you can.
Um. Well, I didn't even know that it was coming. That I was being set up. Just you know, drugs cost a lot more down there than they do here, which is why I went down there. And you know, people are wanting to trade food cards and stuff like that, and I needed cash. I'm trying to get on my feet and get a car and get into my own place and everything. And so I mean, I did trade. Some people brought me food items and clothes and stuff like that, but it's like you can only do so much with that stuff, because
Hmm.
once you get rid of everything you have for trading for items, then I don't have any money to recop.
Yeah.
So people wanting credit and doing the trades, and it's like saying no. So I guess they call the police task force down there, and they give them money to come and buy, and of course they take half or whatever of what they buy and keep it themselves, which I guess the police don't know that, and they say, in like my paperwork, you know, that them people weren't paid or anything for doing it, which I know they were. I'm not stupid. And they take money and make a controlled buy, which is recorded verbally and visually. And
Yep.
after three after three wired uh controlled buys, they kicked the door in and took me and my baby's father in.
And you
And
weren't suspicious at all on those buys.
nope, I wasn't.
Gotcha.
I was suspicious a little bit, like maybe we've been in this one place for too long, and I had said something a few days before that. And I'm basically being looked at like, oh, you're just high, you've been awake for too long, you need to get some sleep, you're tripping. But evidently, really, I wasn't tripping. I knew that it was getting hot there, and I
Yeah.
had so much stuff there from trading people for things that it would have been hard to move because I didn't have a vehicle.
Yeah.
And so yeah, so I ended up getting locked up December 19th, 2019,
Now,
and I got
isn't it?
out.
You got out
Go
when?
ahead.
Go ahead.
September 11th, 2020.
Okay. Now, isn't it kind of hard to get established in the drug world just coming from another state and nobody knows you?
No, because when you have good product and all you need is one person, in that area that knows other people to try that good product, and word spreads like wildfire.
And what exactly were you selling?
Crack and heroin.
Okay. And you said it's more in Ohio. Why?
because it's harder to get there. And it's coming from Detroit. We have better quality.
Oh, you do.
Mhm.
Okay. So when things are going good, do you have like an estimate of what you could make a week? Or you
Oh, you can make when things are going good, you make like $10,000 a week.
really?
Mhm.
Wow. So they break down the door. They take you and a guy that you're with down there.
Yeah.
And do they get other people in the raid as well?
No, it just got him and I.
And what happened to him?
He got locked up he got 27 months.
Okay, so he's still there.
Yeah, he's in prison.
Okay. So you go to jail or prison,
I went to jail.
and
Hancock County Jail.
in your entire sentence in parole or probation, it would be was what?
My entire sentence was 11 months. They gave me the 11 months time served. They gave me a year of probation, which down there they call it community control, and they terminated it immediately. Because I told them, and that was the agreement, was going to be 11 months. I had done 9.5 months at the time I went to court, and the agreement with the prosecutor and my attorney and the judge was 11 months with 1 year of community control. And I did, well, by the time I got out, I did the 11 months. But I told the judge before I stand up, like, no disrespect, but I don't want to be on probation in Ohio. I'm not from Ohio. I have no ties to Ohio, and I don't want to have any ties to Ohio. Like, when I leave here, I'm not coming back. I don't intend on coming back, whether I'm on probation or not. I'm on parole in Michigan. I have a parole holder. So again, when I'm done here, I won't be leaving. They're going to call Michigan and see if they want to come and get me, and that's not like a yes or no thing right away. That takes weeks, for them to respond.
Mm-hmm.
And, my court date was on August 27th, and I didn't end up getting out until September 11th, is when, Michigan decided that they weren't going to come to get me, and they said, advise and release. And so the judge said, that's exactly what I'm going to do. He said, I'm going to give you 11 months with time served, and I'm going to give you a year of community control, but I'm going to terminate it immediately. I guess so that it looks like, I did get more punishment than just the 11 months, but really I didn't, because I didn't do any of the community control.
Gotcha. Now, when you went in, you were addicted to something, right?
Yeah, crack and heroin.
And how did they treat that?
I was pregnant, so they gave me Subutex, and, I had the baby on April Fool's Day. And when I came back from the hospital, that was it. I, went through withdrawals and finished out my time.
Okay. So, and what happened to the baby?
I wasn't sure what I was going to do with the baby at first, because, I really didn't have anywhere for him to go at that point in time. And Ohio, they offer $3,000 for babies to put into the adoption system. And, I didn't want to do that. I have kids and everything, and though they're not directly with me, they're in my life and with family and stuff. So that would have been a last resort. I would have done it. But my baby's father's mom's brother and his wife can't have children. They've tried, and, she can't have full-term pregnancies. And they were already looking into adoption. And so I went ahead and let them adopt him, so he'd still, I'd still get to watch him grow and be in his life, to some extent. And
Okay.
so, yeah, he's with them.
And how's he doing?
And he's doing great. I just seen him a couple weeks ago, and he's, doing really good. He's growing, and he's being well taken care of, which that's a blessing.
Good.
And everything's good with him.
And in brief, what was the experience like in jail there?
It sucked, but I guess it wasn't too bad. The officers are actually really nice. They, them on like a first name basis. And, they're really caring and everything. They weren't assholes like they are here in Wayne County.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Comparing it
So,
to Wayne County, you would say it was a better experience?
yeah, except for the food is really terrible.
Like, give me an example.
And, oh my gosh, I can't even give an example. Everything is no flavor, and everything's like potatoes and beans and rice and noodles and all soy products. Like, there's no actual real meat.
Uh-huh.
None.
All right.
And,
And will you maintain contact with any of the women that you met while you were incarcerated?
I actually just messaged a couple of them on Facebook yesterday, actually. And I talked to one of them, through Facebook, and she's doing really good. She's in a sober living environment in Sandusky, Ohio. So, I'm like, good for you. She relapsed when she got out, and she was looking at a long time too, because she got caught with heroin or fentanyl or whatever
Mm-hmm.
in her hotel room, which was somebody else's. And, the hotel was in her name, so she was getting the blame for it because they found it in the bathroom, which was a big amount, and she was looking at some years. And by the grace of God, she ended up getting out by the grace of God and a good lawyer.
Okay.
And, and it was her that I talked to, and, she's doing good.
Okay. Now, I know jail isn't like prison. There are subtle differences, and this is a stupid question, but I ask because someone that's never been incarcerated, they're really not going to understand this. But you hear all these stories and stuff when women are incarcerated for a long time and they're no longer in a relationship, and the same goes from men that they turn into having sex with people. And is that a bunch of bullshit, or do you think that happens?
Oh, I know that happens because I've been to prison as well in Michigan. I've been to prison twice, and that does happen. For me, no. I'm, not into females.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that does happen. I've seen it personally with my own eyes, especially in prison. It's not just same-sex sex. I mean, they get into real relationships, and they're serious about it.
Oh, okay. But why would jail be any different than prison with regard to that?
Well, prison, most people are looking at a long time,
Okay.
life even. And so, that changed their whole way of life. But in jail, a lot of times girls are what they call gay for the stay.
Okay.
Where they get them a little girlfriend and, they're just gay while they're there, and they don't really continue that upon release.
Okay.
But sometimes they do.
So you can go in there, and if that's not what you're into, everything's fine.
Yeah.
You're not going to get tied up with shoelaces and bed sheets and attacked.
No, you can't even have shoelaces.
Oh, okay. All right. So the day finally comes. You're getting out of there. You're not on drugs. Do you just counting down the days, or is it kind of vague when the actual day is going to be?
For me, it was really vague when it was going to be because I didn't know if or when, Michigan was going to decide that they wanted to come and get me because I am on parole and I had a parole holder. So I didn't get to just be released on my release day or the day that they said, I'm free, I can go.
Yeah.
So actually it was a Thursday night, and one of the sergeants that came through to do rounds, and she was like, so what's going on with you in your case? I said, shit, I was hoping you could tell me what's going on with me. I said, my case here is done. I'm done here. Like, Ohio's completely done with me. So, I have a holder in Michigan to see if they want to come and get me. I said, do you think Monday you can, give them another call and see if they want me or not? Because I'm just sitting here on dead time, like, for no reason now. And she was like, well, how about we give them a call in the morning? And I said, that's even better yet. And I wasn't expecting it. And, I just let that kind of go in one ear and out the other. I didn't get my hopes up or anything because I really thought Michigan was going to come and get me. And I was like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm sleeping. I stay up kind of late reading. And I'm sleeping, and one of the officers, Jess, she says, Lindsay, because my name's Lindsay. And I said, which one? Because there's two of them. A girl in the cell next to me, her name was Lindsay Pinson, and I'm Lindsay Pittman, but everybody calls me Lindsay. And she said, you. I was like, what? She goes, come here. I said, do I have to get up? And she said, if you want to go home, you do. And I was like, don't play with me. I'm like, is Michigan coming? And she said, no, you're being released. You got to come sign these release papers. And I got up and ran out there so fast. If there was carpet, I would have had rug burn on my feet.
Oh, you're looking forward to getting out of there.
Yeah, but then I was like, like, damn, what am I going to do? I'm all the way in Findlay, Ohio. I don't have anybody out here. And I really didn't have anybody, that I could call, to come pick me up or a way to get home. So, even then I still waited like 4.5, 5 more hours before I actually, was released. And they were like ready to like release me right then. And it's different from Wayne County because there, like when you're released, you go and you sit down in a bullpen for 5 to 10 hours and wait for them to, run liens on your name and see if you have any holds. And here, it's like you just sign papers and you're out the door. And I'm like, wait, no, I'm not ready. Can I stay another night?
Oh.
And, yeah, because I wasn't ready to be released. I didn't know how I was going to get home or what I was going to do.
Yeah.
And, my baby's father was in there. And, I asked one of the officers, can you go tell them I'm being released? And I don't know what I'm going to do. And they did, and they came back and told me, he said to call his mother. And, I did. And she had called a Uber, a Lyft actually is what she called. She called a Lyft for me and had me picked up and brought to her house.
Oh, that was nice of her.
Yeah.
Now, I want to ask you before we go on with that, what would describe a typical day when you were in jail down there? Well, let's say you get up in the morning, whatever time that is. What would happen up until you went to bed that night? What are the day-to-day activities?
Oh, there really was no activity. And again, the jails down there, they're so weird. It's like they're little pods. The pod I was in had 6 cells in it. It's in a little circle. And it's like there's a TV up on the wall, and right underneath the TV is the telephones, and right to the right of that is the showers, which is also right in front of a window with no doors, no wall or nothing to block it. So it's like you're just naked in the shower, and people are sitting there watching TV. Like one morning I got up, and you have to shave you got between like 6 and 7 a.m. to shave if you want to get your razor and shave. And like one morning I'm up, shaving everything, and I know it was close to my due date to having this baby, so I wanted to make sure everything was shaved. And I'm shaving my crotch and having a conversation with this girl, and it's actually the girl that I was talking about that I got a hold of yesterday. Mm-hmm. Rebecca, her name is. And so yeah, I'm sitting there shaving my, private areas, having a full conversation. So that was kind of weird. But yeah, like, you get up early, shave if you want, and other than that, it's just pretty much watching TV all day, playing cards.
You're not like, can you exercise if you want?
I mean, you can exercise, but like, there's not really room there to exercise. They offer rec 5 days a week for an hour a day, but they didn't offer rec every day like they were supposed to. And I didn't go down to the rec room because it's a big-ass, dirty gym, and there's nothing to do there. There's, like, a chair in it. There's, like, a chair sometimes, too, and then just a big open gym. There's no basketball, no volleyball, no nothing. Like, there's nothing to do but walk around the gym.
Is it hard to, like, read there? Is it too noisy or not?
Yeah, kind of. That's why I would stay up late and read, because it's quiet, lights out, TV's off. And so I would stay up and read late. It's hard for me to read in the daytime because you got people talking and slapping cards down and the TV going and people on the phone or in the shower, and it is really noisy because the pods are small. Like the common area is really small. So it's like right outside of your cell door are the tables where people sit and hang out. And, you don't have any privacy, really.
Yeah, so you could stay up as late as you wanted to?
You could stay up as late as you wanted to, but you had to be in your cell and doors locked at 11. Oh, and one thing I hated was head count, where at 6 a.m., 11 a.m., 4 p.m., and 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. are head counts. You got to be fully dressed in your uniform and stand outside your door, which is stupid. That 11 p.m. one I don't get, because it's like, all right, they already did a head count at 9, and then at 11 it's locked down. Like, they come in and literally lock your door. Like, you know, they come in and make sure your door's shut and locked, and they push your little intercom button in your room, you know, to make sure so that, you know, the people in the control center, you know that your button's working, and to let them know that they're locking you down. So I don't understand why at 11, before they do all that, they make you stand outside your door in full uniform, because a lot of people are on medications and psych meds, and they knock you out, you know, and they do medication between 7 and 9 p.m. and, you know, throughout the whole jail. And when you're on them psych meds, once you go to sleep, if you get woken up, it's hard to go back to sleep.
Okay.
So it's like, I don't understand that. And then that 6 a.m. one, you know, I don't understand why you got to be fully dressed and stand outside your door at 6 a.m. either. Like, because again, they come in then and do their rounds and, you know, push your button in your door or inside your cell, you know, make sure your little intercom thing works, your emergency button.
Okay.
But yeah, that's what sucks the most is them head counts.
Now, before we talk about what it was like once you got back and you started out in society again, we've talked, I know you have some kids, and here you just had another baby not that long ago, and it's none of my business. If you don't want to answer it, I'm fine with that. But we had discussed this on another interview we did earlier. I'm assuming, and so I'll ask, were any of these children planned?
Yeah, my first one was planned, and my second one was planned. And you know, my first baby's father died. He was murdered by the Taylor police. And, you know, he died before I had my daughter, so he never got to see her, and she never got to see him. And then my second one, was planned, and I'm guessing, you know, this guy was with me, and, you know, let's have a baby, and I love you, and let's get married, and I'm guessing that was because, you know, I was waiting on you know, a lawsuit from the police killing my baby's father.
Oh, okay. And then, so
And
those are the
so
first two babies, and then how many since then?
since then, 4. My third one, I got pregnant by a trick on Michigan Avenue.
And what happened to that
And
baby before we go on?
she's with my mom. I had her. I actually delivered her. Smoking crack. I was in the dope house and my water broke, and I delivered her by myself, feet first. And I didn't know I was pregnant when I had her.
Okay.
When I got pregnant, and like 6 weeks after I found out I was pregnant is when I delivered. And I wasn't really big, and I didn't know how far along I was. And I'd had a doctor's appointment, and I missed it, and I remade the appointment, and just the time for it hadn't came around yet, and my water had broke, and I delivered my baby.
Okay. And then how about baby number 4?
Chance. I got pregnant by a date. It was St. Patrick's Day, and I was at the Crest doing a date with this guy, and the condom had broke, and I like slid back and kind of pushed him off me. I'm like, the condom broke, and he's like, you don't have another one? I was like, no, we had to stop and get this one. And he was like, well, just let me finish without it. I was like, absolutely not. He's like, I'll pull out. I was like, well, no, you know. And I was like, go down to the office and get another one. And we're having this conversation, and he's like on top of me with his dick pulled out, like jacking himself off to stay hard. And he's like, oh, come on, I'm so close. And he's like, let me finish, and I'll pay you more. I said, how much? And he said, I'll give you all the money in my wallet. I said, well, how much is that? He's like, well, that's the gamble of it. I'm not going to tell you. I said, fuck that. You had to go to the ATM to get the money you had to pay me. And he was like, it's more than 100, less than 1,000. And me, being an addict, I'm like, all right, give me the money right now. And he, like, reached over and grabbed his jeans and tossed them up on the bed and was like, the money's in the wallet. So he continues doing what he's doing, and I'm, like, reached over, getting this money out of his wallet, and it was $476. And I wound up getting pregnant from that. And I named my son Chance Cash Malachi. So
And
that
what
I took a
happened to
chance
that
of
baby?
making some cash. I have him. My mom has him.
Okay.
And he's doing good. His birthday's actually in a couple days.
And then baby number 5.
Delana, my daughter with my baby's father that I'm with now, the one in prison.
Okay.
She wasn't planned nor prevented. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I fell in love with him and you know, knew that I wanted to be with him, and you know, so we weren't using protection, and you know, I kind of purposely, you know, let it happen.
Okay. And then
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
and then this last baby I had, I was raped by 2 guys on the 4th of July last year. I got out of jail on like June 28th. I went to jail for like 50 days or something in Wayne County, and I got out, and somebody tried picking me up in like a white extended cab SUV, like a Suburban or something. And I opened the door, and bad vibes hit me, you know, and I, you know, was like, oh, I'm sorry, you know, I thought you were somebody else. And, you know, he's like, oh, that's all right, you can get in with me anyway. And I'm like, you know, I'm good, I'm waiting for somebody. And he's like, well, wait with me. And I was like, well, no, because, you know, I called somebody and I have him coming out here and I don't have a phone for him to call me back, and I told him this is where I was going to be, so I don't want to not be here. And, you know, he kept trying to get me to get in the car, and I'm like, you know, maybe another time. And so for like 2 weeks straight, this guy tried picking me up. And, you know, and I'd see him coming and I'd just go the other way. And one day I was at a spot at the WAP shop, they call it, and I woke up dope sick, didn't have no money, no cigarettes, and couldn't get anything on credit. And I went out to the Ave, and there was this white SUV Suburban, and I wasn't thinking, you know, and he had like the window rolled down some, and I could see that it was like a you know, a white guy or Hispanic. He was speaking Spanish, but he looked white, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so I get in and you know, do the date with him. He said he only had $60. I told him $100, and so I was like, all right, I'll do it. You know, I was dope sick and everything, and so we parked somewhere and get in the back, which wasn't all the way back, because like I said, it was like extended cab, but it was spacious where we were. And he's like, come up out of them clothes. And I was like, you know, really, I don't want to get all the way naked, you know, unless we go to a room or something, you know, because if anything happens, if we get pulled up on, you know, we can't like play it off. And he was like, I got another 25 for you, you know, if you get naked. And so I'm like, all right, run it, you know, give me the money. And so he did, and I got completely naked, and I started giving him head, and next thing I know, something went over my head, or my ponytail was like ripped up, and something went over my head and around my neck, and it was another guy that had came up from the way back. He must have been laying back down back there or something, and it happened to be that same first guy that I got the bad vibe from a couple weeks prior to that. And they raped me for like 5 hours, and it was bad. And I wound up getting pregnant.
You know, did you even bother to report that?
No, I didn't. Because I myself had, you know, I was absconded from parole, and I had warrants and everything. And I've reported things like that before, and nothing ever comes of it. So, you know, they basically look at it like, you know, you put yourself in that position. You know, you're out here doing what you do. You know, that's your fault. Don't, you know, don't call us crying when, you know, something fucked up happens when you put yourself in that position.
Right. So you get out, you get this Uber ride back, and you stay where? What were your living arrangements?
I'm staying with my mother-in-law, my baby's father's mom, and his family.
Okay.
And which is fine. You know, they're all really nice to me, and I thought it was going to be weird, you know, being the white girl and, you know, in a home with a black family.
Yeah.
And you know, they know, or pretty much know, you know, that I was a prostitute and a drug addict.
Mm-hmm.
And Um, you know, so I
So,
just thought it was going to be weird, you know,
yeah.
and it really wasn't. Everybody is very welcoming and, you know, really nice. And, you know, I get along with them and, you know, we laugh and joke and have fun and, you know, and I went back out to the streets, you know, to make money. I need clothes and shoes and stuff like that, which, you know, his family had given me some clothes, you know, not like went out and bought me brand new clothes, but like his grandma gave me some clothes and his mom and his sister, and it's just not, you know, quite my style or things, you know, that I'm comfortable wearing, you know,
Yeah.
which I'm grateful for any and everything they've done for me. And you know, and I take anything that they give me because, you know, having something is better than nothing. But as far as depending on people fully for, you know, cigarettes or, you know, anything I need, you know, it just makes you feel weird, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I hate to have to ask and you know, and then with parole and everything, you know, I'm absconded again now.
Mm-hmm.
Um because well I don't know when I'm supposed to show up, you know, because you call and they stopped answering the phone. So it's like if they don't answer and I don't know when I'm supposed to go and then I go and there's nobody there, what am I supposed to do, you know?
Yeah.
And I can't get a hold of anybody there. So I stopped going.
Yeah, no, here's the thing that I'm interested in though. So you get out of there, you come back, you're not on any drugs. It's a little uncomfortable. People are trying to help you get back on your feet. To a guy that's never been
Mhm.
addicted to drugs, I'm thinking, why wouldn't why wouldn't this just be a new opportunity to like be off drugs and stay off drugs? What's the mechanism that draws you back into this lifestyle after you've jumped over that huge hurdle and got clean? Describe to me what your thinking is that sucks you back into that world despite the trouble it's caused you.
Right.
Uh,
Um just the addiction. It's like once an addict, always an addict, which I don't want to label myself as that, but I mean it is what it is. But it's like you get addicted to the lifestyle.
you do really do.
And it's you
But the
really do, and as
lifestyle,
much as it
when you describe the lifestyle, it seems chaotic and sad.
it is very chaotic and it's depressing and sad and um you know, but there's fun times too, you know. You get addicted to the fast life and the fast money, and but it's hard to do dates with people or get in cars with people, you know, and do sexual favors, which for me it's mostly blowjobs is what I do or
Hmm.
what I did.
Hmm.
um but you know, I depending on what they have to pay or, you know, what they want, you know, you do end up having sex. And and you know, and that's it's hard to do that sober.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense then. I'm glad I asked.
And then
Speaking of that, no, go ahead.
go ahead.
When you get when you, I want to know when you're in relationships with men, and you mentioned that you were in love with this guy, and presumably you've, you know, whatever, infatuated in love with men before. The average guy, and even the average woman that I know that has not been in that lifestyle but knows about it. How do
Mhm.
you distance yourself in a sexual relationship with a man and yet go out and do tricks? What happens there between men and women that makes it possible to go on? Is it just not talked about? Is that just your moneymaker and addiction overrides everything else? How do you have
Yeah,
relationships and still trick?
it's hard. It really is hard. You know, he didn't want me doing that, of course. And like I said, he was just my dealer to begin with, and what attracted me to him is I tried to trick with him, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't do that." I'm like, "What do you mean you don't do that? You don't get your dick sucked? Everybody does." And he's like, "No, I don't trick." And I guess that's kind of what attracted me to him. And you know, but I'm attracted to him, you know, physically,
Hmm.
you know. He's a big fat black man. And, you know, I like bigger men.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just what I'm attracted to. And,
Right.
you know, I ended up giving him head one day because I wanted to. And, you know, he liked it. And, you know, after that, I just, you know, like I said, I seen him every day because I bought drugs from him. And, you know, we just ended up having sex one day, and it wasn't like having sex with tricks. You know, I don't enjoy that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But nobody wants to be with a prostitute, really, you know, as far as relationships go. No, you know, well, there are some. I've had, you know, people that tricks that have, you know, come be with me, and, you know, I'll take care of you and I'll take you home, and, you know, I'll get you out of this lifestyle. And it's like, you know, no disrespect, but if I'm not going to change my life for my children, what makes you think I'm going to change it for you?
Yeah. And what's
You
the
know,
answer usually?
no, no, you know, the addiction overrides everything, and even children, you know, because, you know, like I said, I've got so many kids, and they're in my life still, but you know, I haven't changed my life for them, and you know, so I'm most certainly not going to do it for a trick.
Right.
But I'm at the point now where, you know, like I said, I did relapse, and you know, have some slidebacks, but this isn't what I want to do. And I guess I'm realizing it really for the first time after being so long, and like I said, having this family welcome me with open arms and, you know, care about me and not treat me like a hoe or a trick or an addict, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, you know, being out here again, and it's cold outside, and, you know, I'm scared to get into cars, and you know, this isn't something I want to do. I just told my mother-in-law the other day, I said, I think after New Year's, because, you know, my daughter's birthday is on January 1st, New Year's Day. I told her, I think after New Year's I'm going to go to a rehab or something, you know, maybe just so they can help me with housing. And she said, you know, they might not help you with housing or Section 8 or whatever if you don't have, you know, your kid with you or your kids with you. And which I don't really think I need a rehab or anything. I really want to quit, but I just want to be comfortable. I need to get back on my feet. I don't have like ID to get ID, like any of the paperwork that I need. And, you know, I just want to get my ID back so that I can get a job and just be an active, normal member of society again.
Yeah.
And, you know, I don't have those things. And so that's really what I need. And my mom has my birth certificate in a storage unit, but through this pandemic and everything, you know, her storage unit is some months behind. And, you know, so she can't even get into them because they have them locked. She owes like $1,100 on her storage unit just to get in it, you know.
Yeah.
And she don't have that because she's not working. She's got 2 of my kids right now. And, yeah, and everything's just hard. And it's like I wish my mother, you know, can, you know, get her head right back above water so that she can get, you know, her storage unit paid off and get into her own place again, because she's staying with my brother because she moved out of the place she was in and started staying with him, and then this pandemic happened, and so she didn't end up getting into the place that she was looking at getting into because of this stupid COVID stuff. And yeah, so my mom has my birth certificate, and I think she's got a copy of my Social Security card. But my mom has the paperwork that I need. I just can't get into it, or she can't get into her storage unit until she has the money to pay it.
Right. Now, do you know anybody that's affected with this pandemic?
That's affected with it?
Yeah, personally?
No, I don't.
Okay. And that wasn't an issue down there in jail?
No. Well, yeah, they changed everything down there. Everything got even more tighter than it was. They stopped doing recreation for a while, And even in the jail, anywhere anybody moved in the jail, the way that they did their separating inmates, like where they separated the violent people from everybody else, and then the felons from the misdemeanors, that all changed. They started doing it in tiers of how long you've been locked up, and they do their quarantine, when they lock people up, and then they put them in like another quarantine. And I was the female in there for the longest when I was there. And at one point they had me just all by myself after I went and had my baby and came back for like a month, because and I'm like, I don't understand. I didn't go anywhere but to a hospital where everybody's all masked up, and they're like, but you left the facility, so we have to make sure that you don't have anything and that we don't put you with anybody else that may have it. And that was very hectic and lonely for that month.
Yeah. As far as your drug use, are you back to the same levels of use that you were before you were incarcerated?
No, not at all.
And what's it like down there? Has it changed since you left? And I'm down there, I'm talking about the stroll.
Yeah. Yeah, it has. There's a lot of different people, a lot of new girls, girls that I don't know and haven't seen before, well, which I know them now because it's been about a month since I've been back out there like that. But yeah, it's different. It's and again, because I'm not on as many drugs as I was, I'm even more so scared to get in cars with people, because I'm not out of my mind so high. And another thing with using, like, well, I gained some weight in jail. You'll see that when you see me. It's like, after being in jail and not moving around and just, just laying down and watching TV, it's like, now being up and walking everywhere and being on the stroll, it's like my body hurts,
Yeah.
And, outside of just wanting to be high to get into cars, it's like that too. It helps with the pain, because it's an opiate.
Yeah.
And yeah, so yeah, it's different.
Is the police presence about the same?
Yeah, it is. The police don't really mess with us, like I'd said before. If anything, they'll stop and say, are you all right, or ask if I know of any vehicles that's been a danger to the women, or let me know if they've heard of anything.
Yeah.
And but yeah, the police presence is pretty much the same.
What is it you need now that you're out and you're trying to get back on track?
I have a phone. Well, I on my birthday I got 2 phones, and
Happy birthday, by the way. When was that?
Thank you. It was September 30th.
Oh, happy belated birthday.
Right.
You got 2 phones, but what do you need? And you obviously have, I'm assuming you have one of them because
I
we're
need
talking.
to pay my phone bill. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm actually on somebody else's phone right now because I need to pay my phone bill.
Okay.
Yeah. One of them I gave to my mother-in-law, which she gave to my daughter that is there now.
Okay.
And I lost mine, and I have my daughter's phone right now.
Okay.
And she wants her phone back. She's only 3. She'll be 4 on New Year's Day. And I went home a few days ago, and I got there at like 5 in the morning. And, I was quiet and everything because I didn't want to go waking up the whole household. But she woke up around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and she sat up, and she goes, "Hi, Mom. Can I have my phone?" That was the first thing she said.
Oh.
And, I gave it to her to play with it. And I ended up leaving. And I was supposed to see somebody that was going to take me Christmas shopping for her, and I haven't been able to get a hold of him.
Okay.
And so I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's something I really need help with, is getting gifts for my kids for Christmas, because, I've been gone this whole time and got out, and, they're in my life and everything as far as I'm able to see them and spend time with them. And I don't want to not get them anything for Christmas.
Yeah. Now, you have a Cash App, right?
Yeah, I do.
And could you spell that out for me, please?
It's LINSAY Pittmann. Lindsay Pittman. And then the L on Lindsay is capital and the P on Pittman is capital.
Okay, now you do or you don't have a PayPal?
I don't have PayPal.
Yeah. Any other ways of accepting payments or not?
No, all I have is the Cash App.
Okay, good. And how about clothes-wise and makeup and hygiene stuff and that food?
Yeah, I need all of that.
Okay. Now, would I have a hard, I told you I was down there the whole month of August and the whole month of October, and I looked for you. So do you think I'd have a hard time finding you if I go down again?
No, probably not. Well, I'm not out there as much as I used to be when I was out there all the time.
Yeah.
But you can always get a hold of me on Facebook because I do have that's working on my phone right now.
Yeah. Now, do you have a problem with anybody wanting to give you something, getting a hold of you on Facebook?
Well, I haven't never had anybody want to give me stuff before.
Oh, okay.
But
Only because,
but
I know
no.
you need things, and if you want to,
Yeah.
you can say that what it is right now, and they can deal with you directly. But if you don't, I understand that too. It's your call.
Yeah, I
Okay.
need
So,
I need shoes really bad.
but do you
I need
mind
shoes or like boots.
yeah, do you mind giving the way your Facebook name is spelled?
No, it's the same. It's Lindsay,
Okay.
Linsay, Pittman, Pittmann. I believe there's 2 N's on Pittman.
Okay. All right. Good. And, I'm going to take this interview and upload it to YouTube. You're fine with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with that.
All right. Do you have any questions for me? I mean, is there anything you want to know or anything like that?
No, when are you going to be back down this way?
I probably won't be down there, honestly, for a couple of weeks. I was going to time it so I was there before Christmas, but not too early. Just because
Yeah.
I spent so much time down there, I've still got like huge boxes of stuff and cash to hand out to people, even though I was there for 60 days, in like a
Oh,
90-day
wow.
period. Yeah, but I'll be down there
Right.
in a couple of weeks. And now that, we
Okay.
can get a hold of each other on Facebook, and I'll be able to
Yeah.
upload this tonight, so hopefully you'll see some actions with regard to people trying to help you get back on your feet.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. I could definitely use some cash. I need to get my daughter another phone because I have hers and I've given the number out to people. And so I'm not going to give my 3-year-old back a phone. Well, I broke it. I dropped it and the screen cracked.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm not going to give her back a phone that I've given the number out to people to. And
Right.
that
Yeah.
that's her little lifeline, She gets on the YouTube Kids and
Yeah.
she's got so many games and everything. So I really want to get her another phone. And
Right.
and that's my goal. I plan on getting that for her before I go back home. So I'm hoping within the next few days I'm able to get it.
Okay.
But yeah, I need I don't really like coats because I feel like they make me look big and I am big, but I could definitely use like some hoodies or a hoodie, and I need some shoes. And the shoes I have on now, they're size 10.5 men's. They're Nikes.
Okay.
And so I don't know if shoes change. I mean, I know they differ in sizes depending on brand, but I don't know if like the boot sizes are the same or whatever. But I need like some shoes that are going to keep my feet warm and dry.
Yeah, and how about like long underwear or anything like that? Would that help you?
Yeah, I could use some. Yes, long johns and
Okay.
I'd like to have like a nice sweat outfit.
Okay. I had was thinking about you the other day, and I couldn't. I thought, why in the hell can't I find your interviews? And then I finally just accidentally found it later, because you never know. I don't know. They take videos off, whatever. And then I realized that all your interviews were uploaded with the name Lacie. So I'm assuming
Yeah.
that you were
Yep.
using that name at one time?
Yeah, I still use it. That's what everybody calls me. That's what I'm
Okay,
known
good.
as,
All right,
Lacie.
good. Okay, I don't want to make sure I don't have dementia, because I thought, God,
Right.
how could I? Yeah, how could I have converted that into that? And
Right.
you
Yep.
got, yeah? I don't know. Did you ever go and look at your interviews that I did with you and read the comments and stuff?
Yeah, I did. I did, and I actually did that just recently once I got out of jail because I'd never looked at them before, and like people have told me like how you can comment underneath them or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
People have said you got a lot of fans, a lot of people like you,
yeah,
and
that's true.
you just disappeared, and I never knew that,
Yeah.
and it was sometime in October. I looked at all the interviews, I watched them,
Oh, good.
and I actually never did go below and read the comments because I was kind of in a hurry, so I haven't seen any of the comments.
Oh, yeah, pretty
But
good. Yeah, people liked it. They thought you were a great rapper.
yeah, and I looked at it and I thought, well, I thought it looked and sounded terrible.
Oh, you
Because I
did?
was awake for some days. Yeah, I was awake for some days, and really, I'm a lot better than that. And so maybe, well, not maybe, but next time when I see you, well, I'll do another one.
Yeah, it sounds
A
good.
different one.
No, I thought that one was
And
great, so I can't imagine they're much better, but it's for you to decide.
yeah, so yeah, we'll do another one next time I see you.
That sounds good.
So yeah, just make sure you get a hold of me when
I'm good. I
next time you're
I
down
will
here.
send you your payment tomorrow morning. I would
Okay.
send it tonight, but I don't have a Cash App. I will get on it. I'll do it, and I'll make sure you'll have it tomorrow for sure.
Okay, that'll
I
be
was supposed to
awesome.
do a live earlier tonight, and I didn't do it, and now I'm even later, and I want to upload your interviews. So that's why I'm not doing it now, because the bullshit that happens when you're signing up with something new.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I
yeah.
know when I get up tomorrow, that's the first thing I'll do, but you can count on it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I can't thank you enough. God, I've been thinking about you the whole time, and it's so good to
Yeah,
talk
and
to you, and I just
actually,
wish
when I
the
was in
best for you.
jail, yeah, when I was in jail, I actually, people that were getting out, oh, do you need me to call anybody? I'd actually asked people to go on to YouTube or Facebook and look up my interviews, and I told them try to get a hold of Tom Reed for me because I was in there and pregnant and
Yeah, I would
the
have sent
food's
you something.
terrible, and
Yeah, I would have.
yeah, and I was like, I just feel like, I said, I really feel like, he'll send me something or maybe get a number,
No, I would
because
have.
I would have
Yeah,
called and gave you an interview over the jail phone.
yeah, no, I definitely would have done it. Sorry about that.
But yeah, nobody must have, people must have just not done it.
Yeah, no, because what'll happen sometimes is someone will go on and they'll leave their number. Lacey's trying to get a hold of you, and I would, of course, get back with them, but I never
Mhm.
got anything like that. And,
Yeah,
it's
yeah, I
hard
figured.
enough finding somebody in jail in Wayne County, let alone Ohio. I thought, my God, I'll never find her down there,
Right,
you know?
right.
Good. Well, it's
But
great
yeah,
talking to you.
you too.
Really,
And
you're a nice
like it,
person. I mean, you're smart, you're well-spoken, you got a lot of good attributes, and anything I can do to help you, I would. And I know there are people out there that think a lot of you. You really do. I'm not just bullshitting you. You can do a lot of things. You'd be a great salesperson. You're articulate. I love you to just feel good about yourself Monday through Friday with
yeah,
weekends off.
right,
Yeah, and I
right.
worry about you down there, and I think other people do too. It's
Yeah,
a
I'm
high
sure they
risk
do.
occupation.
Yeah, it is.
Well, thank you for calling me, Lacey, and I will send that tomorrow. If there's any glitches or
Yep.
anything, I'll give you a call.
Okay, yeah. And if there's anybody out there that, wants to send me a cash app, it's Lindsay Pittman.
Yep. No, I'll make sure they get that.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Good night.
Good night.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye.